So, Chartered Institute of Management Accounting. I'm surprised at the amount of people who've requested us to make this video. So, here it is. Today, I'm going to explain everything about this global management accounting program, starting with the basics of what is this. In other videos, I've explained what management accounting is, but once again, I'm going to introduce this video with the actual work that a management accountant does. So imagine you want to work in a big company, right? Think of your dream company, and let's call that's Google. Now, if you want to work in Google in the finance and accounting department, there is a lot of place for management accountants. Their job is to make sure that they record all the financial, whether transactions or data, present it in a way that makes sense and give it to upper management to make decisions. So for example, simple stuff, right? Like how many searches per day are taking place? What is the load time of Google's homepage? What is the overall storage required for all Gmail accounts across the world? These are internal numbers of Google, which is not presented, in their financial statements, in their audits. All these numbers are collected and presented by management accountants, who then help others make decisions which are financial or business in nature. Now, if you are a management accountant, you can enter Google at the ground level, help the upper management make decisions like this, and then you can rise through the ladder of Google and maybe land up becoming the CFO. Obviously, CFO for Google is a big dream, but that's the way you can progress in the field of management accounting, and that's what management accounting is all about. So, the Chartered Institute of Management Accounting is the global body for management accountants. In India, we have management accountants which we call cost accountants. So, if you've heard your parents say that back in their time, there were only CAs and cost accountants. So, chartered accountants and cost accountants. That cost accountant is what it's another word for management accounting. So there's a global management accounting, which is CIMA. There is an Indian cost accounting, which is the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. And then there are many other versions of management accounting. CMA is the US version. So with that introduction, let me get right into the depth of what CIMA comprises of. So guys, wait, hold on. I have been saying this since a while now. Once again, if you look at the analytics, 90% of who watch this video do not subscribe to the channel. Please do subscribe and then move on. So let me start with the eligibility criteria for CIMA. Now CIMA has 4 levels, which I'll explain in the next section, which comprise a total of 16 papers, including case studies. Now, if you've just given your 12th, you have to give all 16. If you're a graduate or you've done some MBA in finance or something, you have to send a letter to CIMA, and based on your syllabus of what you've graduated from, where you've graduated from, CIMA will give you certain exemptions. If you're an ACCA member, from these 16 you get 8 exemptions, and if you're a chartered accountant from India, from these 16 you get exemptions from 15 of these papers. You only have to give 1 case study. And a huge advantage of CIMA exemptions is that CIMA does not charge you if you are eligible for exemptions, which weirdly most of the other qualifications charge us for. So that's a huge advantage from the cost perspective. Now coming to the academic structure of CIMA. So CIMA has 4 levels. There's the certificate in business accounting, there is operational level, management level, and strategic level. Now, each of these levels has 4 exams each. In operational, management, and strategic level, the last exam for each are case studies. So, let me get to the paper pattern and the number of attempts in the year and things like that. So, when it comes to certificate in business accounting, all the 4 exams are on demand, which means you can give them at any point of time in the year. All 4 are only objective exams, which means it's only multiple choice questions. And each of these 4, each exam is approximately 90 minutes. When it comes to operational, management, and strategic level, the first 3 exams are all objective, all on demand, and all are to be given within 90 minutes each. Whereas the case study for each of them, the last exam, the case studies are subjective. They are 180 minutes each, and they can be given 4 times a year. So this comprises of the academic structure of CIMA. Now, when it comes to the scope of CIMA, let me tell you all what the scope is and what my experience has been. So when it comes to the scope of CIMA is more, it's less in the big four and the accounting and finance companies that you've heard about, but more in consumer-based companies or more in companies which are brands themselves, so Toyota or Nestle or Samsung, these kind of companies I know are hiring CIMAs. Also, a CIMA qualified fresher does get anywhere between 5 to 8 lakhs a year. So in India also there is scope for CIMA. Internationally, I know there is massive scope because in other countries, management accountants are really recognized much more than they are in India. Now, that's what I know for a fact based on my colleagues, based on LinkedIn, based on Zen, who helps us with our research. That's what we figure out. My personal experience is a little different though. I have not come across a lot of qualified CIMA members. So while I've come across a ton obviously of CAs, but enough from when it comes to ACCAs or CFAs or actuaries or CMAs or CPAs, I know a lot of these guys across various industries, various levels, not so much from CIMA. So I would not be able to advise you to take CIMA based on its merit from my experience, but I think if you do enough research, you'll find people who are qualified. You can talk to them, you can understand how their experience, their journey is in India. You can find out from them what kind of companies are hiring and how you can venture out into it. So when it comes to CIMA, my understanding of the scope is essentially not as much as my understanding of scope when it comes to the other qualifications. But that being said, please do understand that CIMA as a body is really trying hard to ensure that their members do get a lot of validity and recognition in India. And like I already mentioned, overseas, I know people who are CIMA qualified and are doing fantastically well. So I think if you are thinking of CIMA as your only qualification, don't be that afraid. You will be able to figure it out on your way. And finally, as usual, the fee structure, the cost structure of completing CIMA. So let me make it simple. The overall investment over a period of 2 to 3 years, which will take you to complete CIMA, will be close to around 2.5 to 3 lakhs, which includes everything: the exam fees, the registration, the exemptions, the training, the material, everything. So if I compare it to the other courses, it's really not that out of the, it's not that far out. In fact, it's quite comfortable. It's probably a little less expensive than an ACCA or a CFA. So that's the cost structure of CIMA. So then guys, with that being said, thanks so much for watching. If we've covered everything in CIMA, do let us know. If we've not, then also let us know so we can help you with all your doubts. And now that the request for different courses is coming up more and more, please feel free to let us know what other courses you would like us to cover.